Hey, I'm carrying on with the bodywork now, and on this episode I tackle the floors, the roof, the quarter panels, the rockers, probably more. Let's get at it. Looking at the front dash area, you can see that somebody's replaced the lower channel. They did not tie it into the dash. They've simply overlapped it and then they bonded it. So I've sanded back the Bondo. We're going to be repairing that before I can proceed with fixing the dash. Looking at the box here, you can see that I've repaired it, put the patch in. It's all welded up and it's ready to be sanded down. I also moved into the smuggler's box and replaced all the areas that were rusted out. Tried to clean up the inside of the car, got it pretty gutted, and you can see up inside, just I'm gonna flash it in there, there's some rust here, see that? Lots of rust on the underside of the dash. So I've cleaned up with a wire wheel where I can. When I've got the car on its side, I'll get more of that out and then get it painted. What I'm working on right now is the defroster. It's built into this car. It's metal, and you can see I'm starting to drill out the spot welds. So that way I can remove it, because the vintage air has its own plastic ductwork that goes in its place. So not in the instructions to remove this, but it's necessary. So these posts that support the body at the back were completely rotten. I fabricated these, bent them around, sand them down, just put some primer on them to stop them from rusting. I did them on both sides, so you can see. And then the wheel tubs that will go inside here will get tied to the back of them. This was an interesting one to do because it's got a curve here, but then it's flat at the front. So it's a kind of a weird shape. What I'm gonna do now is just continue along, grinding off the welds that are here, making the bottom smooth, getting it sanded down, at least up to the part where there's the new floor pan. Car's upside down. And the reason I've done that is the roof of this car was pretty rusty. And I spent some time with my wire wheel here on the grinder and a bit of a flat disc on that guy. And I got all the rust out. And so what I've done is I've sprayed down all the metal. I've done it in here on that back panel. I've done it underneath the dash on the corners I couldn't get at upside down without eating dirt. Spin that around in case you have never seen it before. The Osfo. I just bought the big jug, threw it in a spray bottle, and then just sprayed down the car. What I've also done here with the car upside down, I thought it's a good time to tackle some of the bottom. So kind of walk you through here. So areas that I've already ground down, I've sprayed as well. So that way it sits and doesn't just run off. So it says to leave it 24 hours. We'll check back on this tomorrow and we'll see what it's done. It's supposed to neutralize the rust. Certainly saves a lot of aggravation with grinding and stuff, and turns the rust to a black kind of finish. Yeah, let's look at this here for a second. This is a kind of a good indication. When I pulled the doors off, that bracket was solid rust. I just did that a quick shot. Now obviously most of it's run off, but look at, it's not rusty anymore. So it does a good job. I have to say I'm quite impressed. Certainly a lot less elbow grease. Yeah, anyway, as I said, we'll check back in tomorrow and hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's good. Okay, back again, and just want to give you a quick update on where I'm at. So, I've got the body braced up, and I'll come around to why that has taken place. I did the inside, had the car flipped upside down on the rotisserie and did the inside of the roof skin. Right now I've got the car on a body cart. I welded up some steel there to run the whole length to get it on the wheels, and then re-supported the back where I made those new standoffs for the frame. The reason is, once again, as I said, if I can do something right, I'm gonna do it that way. And I was scratching my head about this floor. Do I leave it? Do I change it? in the end, I've decided that I don't like the patchwork that was done before. I get it. People can do, you know, a left side pan or right side pan, that sort of thing. The problem is the center hump was never great. It's been butchered in a few times, different patches for different shifters. I also didn't like that the seam they ran along this side was lower than the seam they ran on that side. So when the car is upside down, not that everyone's looking, but I care, right? That's what matters, is what I care about. And when you flip it upside down, you can see the design is not good. It was just butchered in from the top. They also didn't use the right cross bracing underneath. They put these in after the fact, and they didn't put the sides in that tie into the lower rockers. So I was going to do inner and outer rockers. Unfortunately, you know, doing inner rockers with a floor pan that's already in like this becomes almost impossible. So I found a complete floor pan. It comes with all the cross bracing and inner rockers. So you just drop it in, rather cut this one out rather, and then raise the new pan up to the inside, which is why the car is all braced. I don't need it buckling in the center. And then I'll tackle the outer rockers. So it's gonna have a whole new floor pan with all new bracing, inner rockers, outer rockers, new rear quarters. Pretty much the only thing staying stock on this car are the doors and front fenders. Even the hood I've changed to fiberglass, or will be changing. Tailgate, it's got some dings in it. I'm gonna see if I can save it. Hopefully I don't have to buy a new one because they're not cheap. So today what I'm gonna do is tackle cutting out the rear quarter. I've got the new replacement to go on. I figure I'll get that all welded in, cut out all these pinch welds. And the reason is I need that structure before I drop the floor. I don't want to pull this off and drop the floor. It's just going to become too weak, I think, to support the actually outside skeleton. Okay, so that's the plan. Hopefully I can get this all done and without incident. First time doing this, and I have not seen anything on the internet about El Caminos. So there's lots of 65 Chevelles, people replacing quarters on those. I haven't seen anyone actually document this, so hopefully it helps somebody out. I'll do one. If I do okay, then I'll do the second one and film them both. Tailgate is off. You can see both sides. Now the reason for doing these quarters is, as you can see, there's a lot of Bondo in here. This car was hit on this side. This top was buckled in more, which made from behind the car look like it was 3/4 of an inch low on this side compared to the other side. And I'm just going through it now. This is one of the corner pieces here. See, it goes on just like that. Okay, so it's good. It's got the entire lip wrapped around it. So I'm gonna sand all this down to reveal the spot welds. I'll start drilling those out. I'll cut across, and then I'm going to be going down the entire pinch welds here, getting rid of all of those spot welds. The cool thing about the El Camino is you don't have a huge sail panel to try and fill in or weld. There's only this small little piece. I'm going to do the pinch welds all the way down. Anyway, I'm going to proceed to sand all this out, get to drilling out the spot welds, and then we'll see where we end up. I won't be filming all the dirtiness. I'll just show you where I'm at. Sanding's boring. Cheers. Just want you to be aware there is a support inside the door here, and this is where the striker goes. It's doubled up. The inside of the vehicle is all red oxide primer, which is pretty good. The problem areas seem to be all on the bottom, so rockers, inside the wheel tubs. I've chiseled out all of that. That's what I use as an air chisel to get most of these spot welds broken. Across the top here, I drilled them and then air chiseled from top and bottom to break them away. I've now got to go and grind everything down smooth, Same with the inside wheel wells here. I'll grind all that down so that I can put the inner and outer wheel tubs on. They'll go on before the outside quarter. Some problem areas. You can see that it had been patched before here from the inside the box. It's actually not too bad. You can see they did a decent job on that, so there's no reason to cut that out. These lower portions here, I'm reluctant to buy them. They're expensive for what they are, so what I'm going to do is just cut off the rot area and bend a little 90 to fit it on the quarter panel. This side had definitely been hit because it was all crunched in, so I hammer and dollied that out smooth again. And then you can see here, this corner piece goes on. We've gotten good fitment down at the bottom now. I'll be able to tack that together. And then I put the quarter on. It overlaps here on this indent along the tail light. So that's where it's at. I'm going to continue grinding, and then I will come back again. All right, I've been spending some time getting the rockers off this car because I'm going to be replacing them before I put the quarter in, stitch everything together. And I've been grinding everything, and I'm just gonna get into it with the plasma. A lot faster. I picked up the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. Seriously, this little plasma was 130 bucks, and it's doing a pretty good job. So check this out. So other than the noisy compressor, that's making short work of cutting, and I don't have to go through a million grinding discs and eat dust all day, so pretty pumped about it. I'm going to talk a bit about what these panels are doing for anyone that's going to tackle this down the road, what is happening behind the panels that you see on the outside of the car. So first of all, when you remove the outside quarter, there's an inner structure here that holds your door strike. So this is what it looks like when you take the quarter off. You've got an inner door strike here, and there's a cage nut. It of course moves around for your door pin so that you can position that when it closes. The inside structure here comes down and then bends underneath. So what happens is the outer rocker goes on and it attaches to this inside quarter. Then the lower floor goes on, attaches to the double pinch, so you'd have a rocker bend here and then this one, so that would be all pinch welded. Then the rocker, the floor goes on, attaches to the rocker. So along the way here, this back structure of the cab, it's pinch welded along the underside, so that's a little bit of a struggle here getting this apart. So what I think I'm going to do is the inside rocker, like I say, that's part of the new floor that you can see there. So it has the inner rockers on it, so that whole thing will raise up and attach with pinch welds along the bottom to the outside rocker. So what I was saying previously, if I didn't say it, I'm saying it again, the rocker sits on top of the floor. Okay, so when that outer rocker goes on, it sits on top of the floor. You can see all these spot welds that I drilled out along the top. So you've got an inside structure here. Sorry if it's dark. I just got to cut that away here so that I can slide my rocker under. I think what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to leave this inner structure just as a point of reference, so when I slide the outside rocker along here, I've got something to, figure out the depth on. Along with the front here, the inside of the door jamb, it tucks up underneath. It's supposed to go up underneath further. I'm going to chop it off there because I don't really want to get into taking the front apart. The new floor pan I have, it kind of ends at this point here. It doesn't go all the way to the front of the floor. So I don't want to go past that on what I'm taking apart. So just a quick view of what's going on inside the car. So if you ever wonder how that goes back together, this is how it goes back together. All right, stay tuned.